I was framed. A painting stolen. A crime I didn't commit. Maybe my ex-wife was right about my commitment issues. I was trying to be more cultured, stopped spending time in bars and started visiting museums instead, but the darkness follows me. Guess you can take the detective out of the crime scene, but you can't take anything out of a crime scene because the cops will yell at you. Anyway, enough of this framing story. On to the framing story. Picture, if you will, a picture, if you won't, because it was stolen, with my fingerprints on the frame, even before I just touched it. So now there's double fingerprints, and since I don't have that many fingers, something is up. The curator accuses me of larceny. I plead innocence and ignorance of what exactly larceny means. It's the same as theft, right? But I am a detective, so I tell her I won't just clear my name, I'll highlight somebody else's, in bold 70-point impact font. We go to the security room and check the tape. Sure enough, there's me, rubbing my chin and staring at each painting long enough to make it seem like I get them. And then, sure enough, poof, like a good magician, the painting vanishes. Like a bad magician, it doesn't come back. But how did my fingerprints get on there? Is someone trying to discredit me, other than the bank because I overcharged my credit cards? Maybe the thief was an artist himself, adding this print to his collection, and my prints are a forgery. The curator asked me to just find the painting. She says it's priceless. I tell her not quite. In fact, I know exactly how much a picture is worth. If it's converted into words, it'll be untraceable, even if you have tracing paper. The manager says there's been no paintings exchanged recently, so the culprit must still have it. I still don't know why I was targeted though. Maybe he was hired to frame me. How much does that cost these days? Wait a minute. Frame rate. I rush back to the museum and the curator is in tears. Another painting's been stolen from exactly the same frame in exactly the same spot, with exactly one security camera watching it, a camera with a low frame rate. We review the footage. I tell the security guard to zoom in and enhance between the frames. Our thief is fast, and he's an artist, all right, the Marshall kind. We see him zip in, remove the painting, draw some fingerprints, and zip out in the blink of an eye. If he's already struck twice, he'll be back. And the only way to catch a thief is to think like a thief. Catcher. We put a third painting in the picture frame, but what this story needs is a framing device. When the painting is removed, it'll attach a tracker. Get the picture? We hunker down and wait for it to activate. Eventually, it does. And this time, he took the entire frame. I hunker up and give chase. The signal leads to a warehouse, specifically a dumpster out back with the missing paintings. Okay, I've got the warehouse, but why house? I hunker inside. It's a gallery. There's the thief admiring his real masterpiece, the frame. By now, it's framed so many famous paintings that it's worth more than all of them combined. It's so valuable that it needs its own frame. I ask who hired him. Is he part of the conspiracy? He laughs, says maybe this is all just elaborate performance art. Some people do interpretive dance. This is interpretive heist. I rub my chin, stare. Tell him I don't get it. He's an artist and a ninja, a jack of all trades, master of nunchucks. I pull out a gun, my .44 Magnum Opus, but he's fast, moves like a blur, so I lower the frame rate. Things get choppy, karate choppy, but then I hit him with a freeze frame. It shatters into pieces de resistance. The museum sets up the aftermath as a new installation. Critics call it a brilliant deconstruction of a crime scene. I rub my chin and pretend I understand. The curator thanks me for recovering the art. They commission a painting to honor my achievement. I have it framed, which is where we pull back to the framing story. I hang it up on my little wall of fame. I'm pretty proud, if only other people saw it. But even though I'm alone now, maybe one day this will all be bookended by a framing story where I'm with my family, reminiscing about the time I told you about the time I was framed. And that framing story will be framed by a story of me with my grandkids, and then my grandkids' grandkids, and on and on. Frames and frames and frames, until I run out of room on the wall. But by then it'll be the future, so I can probably upgrade to like holograms or whatever.